Um, just wanted to give some religious liberty updates on what's taking place within the religious liberty realm. I know that, like, if I start doing too many updates, they tend to go kind of long. So, church board said we would appreciate if you would wait till after the service, try to give updates then. So, I'll try to go through some of the things that's taken place as of late that has affected religious liberties. First off, I wanted to throw this up there, Matthew 24. This is Jesus speaking. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. In some translations, that last phrase in verse 8 says birthing pains, because Jesus talked about how end times would be like birthing pains, where things would be more like the contractions would be more intense, closer together, and more frequent. So the reason why I'm saying this is because as we go on, there's more things that's taking place more rapidly. There's things taking place all the time. As the religious liberty representative, I'm getting constant updates. Almost every news article, whenever I open up Google or anything else, is a constant yell in the face to me about how this verse is coming to life and how the end of the world is wrapping up and how religious liberty is being imposed and oppressed. So starting with Jewish American History Month 2026 on May 4th, that was earlier this month, President Trump signed into a bill that we would be celebrating Jewish American History Month to celebrate Jews that have done different things for the benefit of the United States of America. In special honor of 250 glorious years of American independence, and on the weekend of Rededicate 250, a national jubilee of prayer, praise, and thanksgiving, Jewish Americans are encouraged to observe a national Sabbath from sundown on May 15th to nightfall on May 16th. That was last weekend. Friends, family, and communities of all backgrounds may come together in gratitude for our great nation. This is the first time an American president has called for a national Sabbath to be celebrated, whether it's by Jews, Americans of any other denomination or religion. That is significant for us as Adventists. When we see that article, when we see that headline, that should be ringing the religious liberty bells in our heads, because how much longer do you think it's going to take until that reads, the president becoming the first president to call for a national Sunday? I don't think it's going to take another 250 years for that to happen. This is quicker than you think, folks. Revelation 13, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spoke as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causes all the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, and deceive them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles by which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Do you think what we just saw is fulfillment of that? Do you think we're seeing that image to the beast rising more and more all the time? Do you think there's a reason why I'm up here more and more as of late, or try to be up here more and more as of late? Secretary of State Marco Rubio, the Catholic roots of America. This happened, let me see. The Catholic faith has always been part of American story. The first Christian services of our service on our soil was a Catholic Mass. I'm trying to find the date. I forgot where I put the date on this one, but this was in April, because it says April 9th. Yeah, there it is. Secretary of State Marco Rubio delivered a virtual address on April 9th during the conference Endowed by Their Creator, Catholicism, the Declaration of Independence, and the American experiment at 250. This was last month, just recently. Some have claimed that the Catholic faith is a foreign import to our country, but the Catholic faith has always been part of the American story. That's what he said. I would agree with that, but not so much at America 250. Because if you celebrate America 250, that means it starts at 1775. Before that, this was the laws of the land. That every person that shall at any time thereafter profane the Sabbath or Lord's Day called Sunday by uncivil, disorderly recreation, or by working on that day, when absolute necessity doth not require it, shall forfeit 2 shillings, 6 denarius for a first offense, 5 shillings for the second, and 10 shillings for the third. This was the Maryland Act concerning religious tolerance from the Puritans when they first landed. This was part of the 13 colonies. I would say that if you want to talk about Catholic origin in America, you should start with the Puritans, because this had no religious liberty or religious freedom to share. Maryland's 1649 Act concerning religion, often known for toleration, also enforced moral order. Its Sabbath clauses punished Sunday labor or disorderly recreation, balancing Catholic founders' interests with Puritan settler norms. There's the answer that Marco Rubio is looking for. Not 1776, where it said Congress shall make no establishment of a religion, giving us the freedom thereof. Every man and woman shall repair in the morning to the divine service and sermons preached upon the Sabbath day, and in the afternoon to divine service and catechizing upon pain of the first fault to lose their provisions and the allowance of the whole weeks following, and the second to lose their allowance and also be whipped, and for the third to suffer death. This is America for the Puritans. I know we like to sing Star-Spangled Banners and how we have the freedom, but that did not originate originally for the Puritans. This was their life, and it will soon be ours. This law from the early Jamestown settlement formed part of the strict national code under Sir Thomas Dale. It enforced mandatory attendance at church services, reflecting the colony's theocratic discipline and harsh penalties for Sabbath breaking. But this wasn't Sabbath breaking, it was Sunday breaking. What forms of punishment do you think we will be seeing when they make another law that looks just like this? Do you think we will not be facing the same things? America was a gift where the church and the civilization it weighed was reborn, discovered itself anew in the wilderness. Now that is something of note that I can actually agree with Marco Rubio on, because the Bible says it. And the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle that she might fly into the wilderness. That's the territory of America, into her place, and that woman was the Protestant church, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half of times. That's 1,260 years of Catholic oppression of those that did not follow their ways. From the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away into the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. That wilderness is American territory. That wilderness helped provide that freedom. That wilderness helped provide safety and security for the church for 1,260 years. Unfortunately, in the beginning, it didn't, but it did over time. Because Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment or religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. That single line was a main reason, a majority of why I wanted to join the United States military, to protect and defend that one sentence right there. We have enjoyed it for 250 years, but sadly, I don't think we will stand another 250 enjoying that. Less than a month later, on May 7th, the Pope came out with a bulletin. Senator Marco Rubio, first with His Holiness Pope Leo, the shared commitment to fostering sound bilateral relations between the Holy See, that's the Vatican or the papacy, and the United States of America was reaffirmed. Again, building more relations and connections to building an image to the beast. What does that look like? Probably like this. Rejecting church and state separation is on the wish list for Trump's Religious Liberty Commission. What does that look like? And the chair of the Religious Liberty Commission is calling for the federal hotline with this automated recording. There is no separation of church and state. The one line that I wanted to join and defend the military over is now being broken down into this, saying that there is no separation, saying that we are making an image, saying that church can and will run the state. I don't know what happened to my slide clicker here, but I am not able to proceed. Yep. I can't finish my slides, but I guess I will end it here because I can't proceed forward. But I'll leave it at that. There's a lot going on. There's other things taking place too. One of them that I had on here, there's a young lady that's part of the United Church of God. She got with the EEOC, which is the Equal Opportunity branch of the federal government, and they're suing Chick-fil-A. Some of you may have heard this. When she was first hired, she said, "I have Saturday Sabbaths that I keep off. Please do not schedule me for such." And in the beginning, they did. But as time went on, they started trying to schedule her and pushing the issue of making her break the Sabbath. Finally, it came to the point where she went to the EEOC and they said, "We'll stick up for you." And now there is a case out and a lawsuit out on Chick-fil-A for not recognizing religious liberties for some individuals that want to practice and worship on the Sabbath. I think that's of note. That's important to find. Another bill that I can't remember her name right now, from a senator. She wants the motto of America, "In God We Trust," engraved in all federal buildings in America, in all prominent areas. When Jesus asked for a coin and said, "Whose superscription is this?" they said, "It's Caesar's." There was no "In God We Trust" on their money. God said, "Render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's." God doesn't deal with money. There is no money in heaven. There is no "In God We Trust" on coinage in the kingdom. But yet now they want the motto, "In God We Trust," stamped on all federal buildings in America. Again, building a system of no separation of church and state. These are the things that are taking place in your religious liberty realm. These are the things that I wanted to share with you today. Thank you for your time.